From starting out as an overlooked underdog to becoming one of the greatest quarterback players, Cam Ward's NFL journey so far has completely made a full circle and the most satisfying display of a player beating the odds and achieving NFL stardom. A standout quarterback from the University of Miami, Cam Ward has earned the coveted #1 spot in the NFL draft, sending shockwaves through the league. In this video, we'll take a look at how Cam combined his exceptional arm strength, football IQ, and leadership aura to have captured the attention of scouts and analysts, ultimately placing him at the limelight of the NFL draft. Before Cam Ward was lighting up defenses and making highlight reels every Saturday, he was just an ordinary kid growing up in the heart of Texas with a dream and a football in his hand. Born on May 25, 2002, Cameron Anthony Ward was raised in West Columbia, Texas. Cam's journey didn't begin under Friday night lights or with five-star camp invites. It started in the backyard, where he and his dad would toss the ball around until the sun went down. Cam was born to Calvin and Patrice Ward, who are lovers of sports, and the duo formed a football-loving family. His dad, Calvin, was more than just a supportive parent. He was Cam's first mentor, making sure his kid had all he needed to absolutely dominate in the school's football team. Calvin coached at the high school level, so you could say Cam was basically born with game running through his veins. From an early age, Cam was surrounded by the game. Whether it was watching film with his dad, running routes in the backyard, or tagging along to practices. But Cam didn't just start out slinging the rock. Like a lot of kids, he dabbled in multiple sports: basketball, baseball, even track. He had that raw athleticism and competitive edge no matter the game, but amongst every game he tried, football seemed to be the one he truly loved. He loved the moments when the pads pop, the crowd roars, and the pocket collapses, and luckily for him, it turns out, he was built for it too. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches later on, Cam got himself the right genetics for this line of business. His first real introduction into organized football came around middle school, and from day one, he was already showing flashes of something special. Even then, he had that quarterback swagger, the coolness under pressure, the quick release, and the ability to read defenses that usually comes way later. By the time high school rolled around, Cam was ready to take the reins, but it wasn't all smooth sailing. At Columbia High School, he wasn't immediately crowned the star quarterback. He had to deal with a little setback here and there. In fact, he had to grind for a shot, flying under the radar and often overlooked by recruiters. He wasn't a five-star guy. He wasn't in the headlines. He kept his head down, he kept working, and when his number was finally called, he made the most of every snap. During this time, Cam's parents played a huge role in keeping him grounded through it all, making sure he had time for his schoolwork and also keep him in line well enough to develop the characters necessary to survive in the real world. Cam Ward played his high school ball at Columbia High School in West Columbia, Texas. It's a small-town program, not exactly a quarterback factory. But that didn't stop Cam from leaving his mark. He didn't walk in as an immediate starter or four-year phenom. In fact, Ward didn't get a full-time starting gig until his senior year. Before his give, he spent time learning the ropes, watching from the sidelines, and taking mental reps building his football IQ while watching for his shot. But when that opportunity came, Cam made sure folks remembered his name, and they still do to this day. In his senior year, Cam finally got his keys to the offense, and he didn't waste time showing what he could do. Running Columbia's spread system, Ward displayed the tools that would later make him a hot commodity in the college football world. Blessed with a smooth release, solid arm strength, good pocket awareness, and the ability to make plays off script, in his first 2 games of his senior year, Ward came out swinging. Game 1 saw him throw for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns, showing off not just his arm, but his poise in the pocket. In Game 2, he followed that up with another strong performance, throwing for 212 yards and 2 touchdowns. while rushing for 65 yards and a score on the ground. He was starting to build momentum, and the offense was clearly clicking under his leadership. But it wasn't just about stats. It was more about command. Ward took full control of the huddle. His reads got sharper, his decision-making quicker. At this point, everyone could see the evolution in real time, and no one needed a fortune teller to guess that this kid is going places. In his final regular season game, he dropped 267 yards and 4 passing touchdowns on the board. His timing with receivers was crisp, and his pocket presence was next level. In the playoff opener, despite a tough loss, Ward still showed up with over 230 yards and a pair of touchdowns, fighting until the final whistle. Ward ended his senior season with over 2,200 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, and just a handful of picks, a huge jump from his previous years. He also added several scores with his legs, showing off his dual threat potential. Still, despite the numbers and the improvement, Ward didn't receive much love from big-time programs. He was overlooked by Power 5 schools, considered too raw or unpolished by many recruiters. But he stayed locked in and eventually committed to Incarnate World, an FCS program in San Antonio that saw his upside and was willing to invest in his development. At Incarnate World, Cam Ward didn't just grow, he completely exploded. After redshirting in 2019, he took over as the starter in spring 2021, which was delayed due to COVID, and lit it up. In just 6 games, he threw for 2,260 yards, 24 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions. That's nearly 400 yards per game. He was named the Jerry Rice Award winner, given to the top freshman in the FCS. No one could deny that his arm talent was completely undeniable. Ward had zip on his passes, touch on deep balls, and the confidence to make throws most FCS quarterbacks wouldn't even try. In 2021, he followed that up with another stellar campaign. 4,648 passing yards and 47 touchdowns in 13 games. The buzz around Cam Ward was real, and he had officially outgrown the FCS level. After the 2021 season, Cam Ward hit the transfer portal, and he didn't stay there long. He reunited with his former Incarnate World head coach, Eric Morris, who had taken the offensive coordinator job at Washington State. That connection made the transition smooth, as Ward already knew the playbook, the terminology, and the style of offense. In 2022, Cam stepped onto the Pac-12 stage and held his own. He finished the season with 3,231 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions, while also adding 5 rushing scores. He led the Cougars to a 7-5 regular season and a bowl appearance, earning respect as one of the better quarterbacks in the conference. After leaving college, Cam Ward's rise to the top of the NFL draft was nothing short of legendary. He had already built a reputation as a dynamic, dual-threat quarterback with a cannon arm and next-level instincts. His college journey, from Incarnate World to Washington State, and later to Miami, showcased steady growth, elite production, and leadership that couldn't be ignored. When draft season hit, Ward turned heads at the NFL Combine, throwing lasers and drills, showing poise in interviews, and proving he had both the physical tools and football IQ to be a franchise cornerstone. By the time the draft rolled around, his stock had skyrocketed. On April 24, 2025, it all came full circle when the Tennessee Titans selected Cam Ward as number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. The Titans, in desperate need of a new face for the franchise, were sold on Ward's arm strength, mobility, and ability to create magic when plays break down. Head coach and front office execs saw him in the hype of leader who could energize the locker room and light up the scoreboard. Cam's journey from small-town Texas to the NFL's biggest stage wasn't easy, but it was earned. He defied expectations at every level, proving doubters wrong and showing that stars can rise from anywhere. Now, wearing Titans blue, Cam Ward is set to lead Tennessee into a new era. And if history tells us anything, it's this: when Hurricane Cam hits the field, expect fireworks. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to this channel for more.